Hi, hello, and welcome to yet another episode of World Cup Tidbits. And yes, where's Karthik?
Karthik, I think, is in some busy in some work right now. That's why
Oh,
he's not able to make it today. I mean, we're so used to having him, host the show, which he does a really good job at. But let's see how this thing goes now
yeah.
without him.
So let's try our best and let's start with yesterday's game.
Yeah,
We had a cracker of a game yesterday, and England did have an early breakthrough, but then Moeen Ali stepped up at the right moment. So,
yeah.
and he did get them to a respectable total. So, how do you think that impacted England's total?
Well, yeah. I mean, we generally expect England to, go all out, right? Like as Morgan mentioned, they're like a six-hitting team. So they
Hmm?
have like most of the batsmen are capable of changing gears whenever it is required, or when, like, let's say the opposition least expects them to. But I think credit should be given to the New Zealand bowlers for actually not allowing them to get to a flyer in the power play. You know, because usually if you see the other games, England have got off to like either 60 or 55 or something like that. But then yesterday, I think the last over by Adam Mill proved to be a decisive one, because he not only got the wicket of Bairstow, who was struggling, but also gave away just 3 or 4 runs. So, and then from I think that sort of also made the difference, of a total of 180 to what they ended up getting. Yeah, and you should also consider the fact that Jason Roy was missing, so there was a little bit of shuffling that happened, where Bairstow, who was batting in the middle order, was forced to open, even though he is familiar with the position. Yeah, but yeah, in the end, it sort of proved a little less for the England team.
Yeah, so England is known to be a six-hitting team, but in the end, it was New Zealand who hit sixes and changed the game. But going into the game, England were the favorites, clear favorites, and even into the 36th over of the game, people believed that England is gonna win, and only a
Yeah,
fraction of people thought New Zealand can actually do it.
I
So
was one
they,
of them.
yeah, so can you explain why? Or something? Because they were 110 for four, and they
Yeah,
made like 57 of 4. Mhm.
24 balls. Yeah, I mean, see, it's not often that chasing 14 runs per over is achieved. I mean, I know in this stone age it is possible, and it was done so yesterday. I think the surprise package was Liam Livingston. Like coming in and chipping in with not only bowling those 4 overs, but bowling them economically and picking up 2 wickets as well. I think that's sort of, no one expected him to play that role, but I think that was a bonus for the England team. But yeah, I think Nisham came and played a impactful innings. Like, if not for him, I don't think it would have been difficult for New Zealand to come close to the target. He came and just made sure that the work for Daryl Mitchell got a little easier. Uh, yeah, I think England also missed the execution at the death overs. They couldn't get the Yorkers right, or the variations were also being hit. You could clearly see that Jordan sort of became nervous, and even bowling Adil Rashid at that point proved out to be costly, where they got more than 15 runs in that over. So yeah, you could say, like, New Zealand never gave up, and that's what sort of helped them in overcoming England yesterday.
Yeah, right. So England were doing good in the season. They didn't have the service of Ben Stokes, Joe Archer, and still they came to the semis. And
Semis.
even then they lost Jason Roy and still almost they came close. So
And even Timal Mills as well, who was
yeah.
supposed to be,
Mhm.
their bankable death bowler. So I think Mark Wood did a decent job in his absence yesterday as well. Uh, but yeah, I think probably they were like 15 runs short yesterday.
So commendable job by England, but unfortunately couldn't make it. And
Yeah,
that was what was yesterday's match. And today we have another exciting semi-final coming up, and that's between Pakistan and Australia.
yeah.
So, what do you think? Like Pakistan, again, like England, have been winning all the games, and
Hmm.
they're actually unbeaten. And do you think Australia can upset them like how New Zealand did yesterday?
Well, it's pretty much possible, because now it is a knockout phase. You can call it the business end of the tournament, and Australia are capable of, beating Pakistan as well. The thing that's going with Pakistan is, as you said, they've not lost a single game. The confidence would be high. The team looks balanced. Most of the boxes are ticked. But saying that, Australia also have match winners in their team, and anything is possible. And if you ask like probably the New Zealanders, probably they would like a trans-Tasmanian final. If Australia get into
Yeah.
manage to beat Pakistan, then that's going to be something to watch out for as well. A repeat of the 2015 World Cup, probably.
Yeah, and like New Zealand have like not won the World Cup yet, so they
Yeah.
would want to go a step ahead and win it as well. So any exciting matchups, like you see both the teams are quite similar. The openers are firing a bit, and then
Hmm.
and then you see little slowdown, and then the bottom order, like if you see Shoaib Malik and here Stoinis or Wade, and
Yeah,
similar with the
yeah.
bowling. So any exciting matchups?
Yeah, maybe it's probably Shine Shah against David Warner, being a left-arm fast bowler.
Hmm?
Will David Warner be able to capitalize on him? Might probably define as to how the power play of the Australia, because he did look in good form in the final game when Australia played against West Indies. He was looking at his fluent best, you can say. And also how the middle overs, like how what impact Zampa will have, on the Pakistan middle order, because he's been taking wickets in the middle as well. You know, and then even Pakistan also will definitely use all the three spinning options, each very different. Imad Wasim will definitely be used in a power play, so that because he gets the ball to come in, especially to the right hander, like the arm ball, and even the leg spin of Shadab and a crafty bowler in Hafiz. Will they be able to tie down the Australian middle order? All these things will define as to how the match might go.
Okay, so final question. Who are your
Yeah.
favorites to win this game?
Uh, I would say Pakistan, considering that just looking at the balance and the confidence that they're playing with.
All right, all right. So that's the analysis of today's match. And don't forget, we have the man of the match contest as well. And yesterday, the man of the match was Daryl Mitchell. And
Yeah,
we actually got only one prediction for that. People
yeah. I
expected
mean,
England to win.
kudos,
Yeah.
kudos to that guy who did manage to predict. I mean, I wouldn't have in my wildest dreams. And also, it was special for Daryl Mitchell because his parents were there. They were
Oh,
watching the game yesterday as well. So they kept focusing on his mom and dad. It must have been a really proud moment for him, like taking his team to a World Cup final and his parents being there. I think it can't get better than this.
yeah. So, Daryl, you can be proud of your knock, and Dheeraj, you can be proud of your prediction as well. So
Yeah,
the winner is Dheeraj. We don't have cheats because he's the only winner.
it's only
And
the sole winner. Yeah,
yeah,
congrats,
congrats,
great job.
Dheeraj. Yep. And today also we have the contest. So it is Pakistan versus Australia. So do predict before the
Please
start of the
keep, yeah,
second inning. And don't forget to subscribe and also tell your cricket loving friends to follow our page and do like and comment so that you all can win.
yeah.